Can Christians be gamers, or should we all sell our consoles and PCs? Now, before you start flaming me in the comments, hear me out. The answers to this question might be a little bit more in line with what you think. How's it going, everyone? My name's Jesus Freak, and I'm just an ordinary gamer wanting to tell you about the extraordinary love of God. Today's topic, and my first long format video like this, will be covering whether Christians can be gamers and what that entails, depending on the content you play, time spent gaming, and your reason for gaming. The content that you consume is very important and shapes how you view the world. This extends past gaming, but for today's video, we'll keep it within the scope of gaming. Matthew 6:22 through 23 states, "The eye is the lamp of the body. If your eyes are healthy, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eyes are unhealthy, your whole body will be full of darkness. If then the light within you is darkness, how great is that darkness?" Matthew here is talking about how when you consume media or games, in our instance, that has a negative, inappropriate, or anti-Christian content that can directly affect us as Christians and our hearts. Some games I believe to fall into this category would consist of games with glorifying crime and high sexual content, like GTA or even Marvel Rival highly sexualizes its characters, and I found when playing that game caused my thoughts to stumble a bit, and honestly, it just wasn't really worth it to me anymore. Now, I'm not saying every Christian needs to go delete Marvel Rivals, and maybe it isn't particularly an issue for you. However, I urge you to be on guard and review the content of the games you play, and what it makes you think about or do. Also, in Matthew chapter 5, verse 30, it says, "And if your right hand causes you to sin, cut it off and throw it away. For it is better that you lose one of your members than your whole body go into hell." Which, of course, isn't actually telling you to chop off your limbs when you commit a sin, but it is telling you that certain things need to be removed from your life in order to live in the plan that God has for you. This, of course, can apply to many things, from activities, people, games, drinking, and anything that may cause you to stumble and sin. For this section, we're going to talk about time spent gaming. Time spent gaming applies to, honestly, whether or not you're a Christian. Unless it is your job to be playing games, you should be very aware of the time you're putting into games, as well as what you're prioritizing it over to be able to put that amount of time into it. Gaming should always, in order, be below God, then family/friends, then everything else like job, chores, and other necessary things, as should any other hobby. They are not necessary for life to go on, but they make it a lot better when you have time for it. The very first commandment from God when he gives them to Moses, and the very first commandment broken after they were given is, "You shall have no other gods before me," in Exodus 20:3. The second, which goes hand in hand with the first, is, "You shall not make for yourself an idol." Now, these seem pretty pointed at other religions and to not follow anything other than God. However, anything can be an idol or God in your life, depending on how you view it, time spent with it on your mind, and its priority in your life. Gaming, when it has taken precedence in your life and is on your mind more than God, is when it has started to change from a hobby into an idol or God in your mind. This portion for gaming for me has been my largest struggle, and I really enjoy it. However, there's been times where it begins to take over my priorities, and that is partially what I hope to remedy in myself by starting this series. Instead of wasting my hours away with gaming, I can use it to reach a community of people that I resonate with. If you have crossed the line into gaming being an idol or God in your life, take some time to pray about it, ask for forgiveness, and rearrange your time or priorities to put him first. The last topic we're going to cover is the reason you're gaming as a Christian. There are many reasons people do a lot of things, but gaming specifically often comes down to three-ish things when done. Either for a hobby, fun, escape, and to fill a hole. Those who game for fun do view it just like a hobby, something to pass the time, get some dopamine, or hang out with some friends, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's those who use gaming as an escape or a way to fill a hole in their lives. Now that is starting to get into the realm of an unhealthy relationship with gaming, coming from a Christian perspective at least. In Psalm 18:2, it says, "The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer. My God is my rock, in whom I take refuge, my shield and the horn of my salvation, my stronghold. And in Psalm 23, 1 through 2, it says, The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. Both of these verses talk about how God is the one who we should be leaning on to fill us and guide us. When we find ourselves trying to escape or fill a void in our lives with something besides God, it's like a band-aid on something that needs stitches. It's not providing any healing, just covering something up, but eventually it'll come off, and after that, you'll be back to square one or worse. This video covers some of these topics fairly briefly, but I urge you to look into what kind of games you're playing, the priority it takes into your life, and why you play what you play in the first place. You might just discover a hole in your relationship with God that you can start to mend through prayer and forgiveness. If this video is any help to you or you have any questions, please feel free to leave comments and a like, letting me know you want to see more of this content. Thank you, and God bless.